250,000 GitHub stars. 60 days. That's OpenClaw. And on March 3rd, it went straight past React. Sit with that. React took over a decade, and React is what most of the web you use is built on. OpenClaw is a personal AI assistant. One developer, Peter Steinberger, built the first version in about an hour as a script that shoved his WhatsApp messages at Claude and shoved the answers back. Last November, it didn't exist at all. Now I know what you're thinking, because I thought it too. Another AI repo goes viral. Everyone stars it, nobody runs it. Except the architecture underneath is genuinely interesting, and almost nobody covering it has explained how it works. So that's what we're doing. The one process everything runs through, where your agent's memory actually lives, and the decision that made it spread like this. Then I'm giving you the bill. There's a real one. It's ugly, and most videos on OpenClaw walk straight past it. Start with why anyone cared. Because it isn't the code. OpenClaw has no app you open. It shows up inside the messaging app you're already in. WhatsApp, Telegram, Discord, Slack, Signal, iMessage, Teams. It joins the thread like another person in the group chat, and you talk to it the way you'd text a friend. Sounds cosmetic. It isn't. Every other assistant on Earth makes you travel to it. Open the app, start the chat. Remember, it exists. OpenClaw just waits where you already are. That's the difference between a tool and a habit. Underneath, OpenClaw is one long-running process called the gateway, and everything goes through it. Everything. It's a WebSocket server speaking a typed message protocol, and it owns sessions, routing, tool calls, and state. Not the channels, not the command line, not the phone apps. Watch a single message go through. A channel adapter takes whatever WhatsApp actually sent and flattens it into one internal envelope. Routing works out a session key. Which agent, which model, direct message or group, which thread. The session loads off your disk as a plain transcript file, one record per line. Tool policy gets computed in layers. Global rules first, then provider, then agent, then group, then sandbox. Your workspace files build the system prompt. Memory search runs. The model gets called. The answer streams back out the same channel it came in on. Picture a hotel front desk. Every guest, every key, every delivery goes past one person, and that person knows exactly who's in which room. That's the gateway, and being the single authority is what makes everything else work. It's also why, when somebody eventually got behind that desk, they didn't get one room, they got all of them. I'll come back to that. Here's the part I actually like. OpenClaw's memory is markdown files. That's it. Not a vector database you can't read, not a proprietary blob. Plain text on your own disk, treated as the truth. Retrieval is a hybrid, so chunks get ranked by meaning, but keyword scoring gets weighted in right next to it, over documents you can open in any editor and fix by hand. Each file has a job. Memory.md is core memory. Agents.md and tools.md set capabilities and access. Heartbeat.md gives the agent an interval to wake up on, check something, then either ping you or go quietly back to sleep. And then soul.md, which holds its identity, its tone, its personality. Think about that. Your assistant's personality stops being a prompt you lose and becomes a file you can read, diff, version, and carry to another machine. Don't like how it talks to you? Edit the file. Commit it. Capabilities work the same way. A skill is a folder with a skill.md inside it, and when the system prompt gets built, whatever skills are sitting in your workspace get found and injected automatically. The model learns what it can do by reading. By mid-February, there were over 1,700 of them, all community-built. And where that code runs is yours to pick. Tools can run on the gateway host. They can run in Docker containers, isolated per session, per agent, or shared. Or they can run on device nodes, companion apps on macOS, iOS, and Android that hand the agent, a camera, notifications, a shell, system queries. Models your pick too. Claude, GPT, DeepSeek, Llama through Ollama. Which means the thing you're installing isn't really an app. It's closer to a staff member you hand keys to one at a time, and you decide which doors each key opens. So why did this spread faster per day than Docker, Kubernetes, or React ever managed? Not the feature list. Nobody stars a repo for a feature list. It's that you own it. It runs on your laptop, a cheap VPS, a Mac Mini in a closet. Your memory files sit on your disk instead of in somebody's cloud, and there's no meter ticking. Steinberger was carrying $10,000 to $20,000 a month in infrastructure himself while it went vertical, and the thing people installed cost them nothing but a box to run it on. Quick question, and be honest with yourself. How many tools you touch every day do you actually own? Not subscribe to, own. For most people, that's zero. All right, the bill. OpenClaw's security story in early 2026 was bad. Not needs some hardening, bad. Bad. And it traces straight back to that gateway I told you to remember. In February, a firm called Oasis Security disclosed a flaw, somebody named ClawJacked, and it's uncomfortably simple. Any website you visit can open a WebSocket straight to your own local host, because browsers don't block those the way they block normal cross-origin requests, so malicious JavaScript on some random page opens a socket to your gateway port. There was no rate limiting on local connections, so the script just guesses the password over and over until it's through. Then it registers itself as a trusted device, which gets approved automatically with no prompt to you. And now it has your agent, your config, your nodes, your logs, every conversation you've ever had with it. Credit where it's due. The patch shipped in version 2026.2.25, inside 24 hours of disclosure. That's fast. But ClawJacked wasn't the whole problem. API keys and OAuth tokens were sitting in config files unencrypted. Plaintext. Researchers found hundreds of malicious community skills built to lift crypto wallets, passwords, and cloud credentials. And remember what a skill actually is. A folder somebody hands you that gets injected straight into your agent's prompt. Microsoft published a hardening guide for it in February. When Microsoft Security writes a guide for your side project, congratulations, you've arrived. Not the way you wanted to. So here's the honest version, and I'm not softening it. OpenClaw on defaults, reachable from the internet, is a bad idea. Isolated VM, throwaway credentials, access to nothing you'd cry about losing. Every capability I just spent 5 minutes admiring is also an attack surface. That isn't a bug in the idea. That's the price of the idea, and you should decide whether you're paying it before you install anything. Now, 3 questions you've probably been holding this whole time. Isn't this just Claude Code or Codex? No. Those live in your terminal and point at a repo. They're for work. OpenClaw points at your life and texts you on Signal during dinner. Isn't it the ChatGPT app with extra steps? The difference is who's holding things. Your memory is your files. Your keys are your keys. The model swaps whenever you feel like it. Nobody else has a copy. Is this finally, Siri, done properly? Closer. But nobody hands Siri a shell, a Docker container, and 1,700 community skills, and Siri's personality isn't a text file you can rewrite on a Tuesday. So here's my question for the comments, and I want a real answer, not a vibe. If you set OpenClaw up tonight, what would you actually let it touch? Your calendar? Your email? Your shell? That answer is the honest review of this thing, and almost nobody says it out loud. Which takes me back to the number I opened with. 250,000 stars in 60 days isn't a story about a clever repo. It's people working out they'd rather own the assistant than rent it, and moving that fast the second something real turned up. So, to recap, OpenClaw is one gateway process everything routes through. Memory is markdown files on your own disk, with soul.md holding the personality. Skills are folders, it reads. Execution runs on your host, in Docker, or on your phone, any model you want behind it. And the exact openness that made all of that work is what left it wide open by default. And look, if some part of your brain has been going, this would actually make a great video this whole time, I know that feeling, because it's the feeling I built Zonix Motion for. You take a script and a voiceover, drop them into the agent inside your ID, hit enter, and a few minutes later, there's a finished motion graphics video waiting. The glow, the movement, the polish. No editor, no per render fees, running on the AI subscription you already pay for. One purchase, yours for life. And if the itch was, I want to build my own version of that instead, same link. The store has source code for AI agents and SaaS products across most niches, so you start from something that runs instead of an empty folder. If you want more teardowns like this one, subscribe. That's the whole channel. I'll see you in the next one.